Hi, Product Hunt. My name is Johannes. I'm one of the founders of Subledger. We started working on Subledger because we didn't like the accounting tools that are out there. Specifically, what happened is a couple of years ago when I was responsible for finance and accounting at my previous startup, I did not enjoy my life. The tools that are out there are just way too clunky and I didn't like working with them. They're slow. They didn't make me feel like a power user. In fact, they made me feel pretty dumb. And I wanted a tool that works like that. So we started working on Subledger. Let's take a look at it together. From the main page, you can jump into View Demo. So if you want, you can follow along or click through it later. Here we see the dashboard. And this is nice, but nothing special. Like all of the different metrics you can see, upcoming invoices. You get a good feel for cash flow that way. But actually, let's look at some of our automation tools together. Let's go into classifications and reconciliations. Basically, what this is lining up the statements and the statement lines that you're getting from the bank on the left with payments that you need to create in the system on the right. And you can see here that the two numbers, our balance in the app, 336,000, isn't matching our balance in the bank. And this is because there's 25 statement lines that we haven't created in the system yet. They need review. And so we could go through them one by one, and the system has already automatically identified the accounts and the contacts to use for these in some cases. And, in this cases, I can just click and reconcile them. Now the number will update and you will see the new balance. But what I actually want to show you is how we have implemented this in an automated way. So you can now enable AI classification. Basically, what will happen is this process that we've gone through manually will be done by an LLM. So it's going to identify for each payment, is there a corresponding statement line, then it will match them. If there isn't, it will create the respective entries in the system directly. And it will correctly identify contact and accounts. Of course, you have to review it, so it's not always going to be correct. But basically, at the end of it, you will have a fully reconciled account, and you just need to do the reviews. You saw this little icon started glowing, which means that the Copilot is now working. And it's going to take a couple of minutes until all 24 statement lines will be fully reconciled. As it's doing that, because this will take a couple of minutes, it's doing that in batches, and for each statement line, it's doing a couple of checks, so it'll take a while. LLMs aren't the fastest, but for most companies that's fine, right? Because the maximum you will have is hundreds of statement lines per day, unless you're a very large organization, and then we can scale up, no problem. So let us know if that's the case and you want to work with Subledger. We'll definitely be able to do this. So let's look into another feature that I'm equally excited about. Let's look into the inbox, we also sometimes call this magic inbox. The idea is that every company gets an email address, and it can send all of the invoices and receipts that it gets to this email address as PDF. And our system can automatically identify what is in that PDF, match it to existing transactions in the system, if they've already been created, or otherwise create them directly. So that means no human has to manually upload PDFs, review them, and stuff like that. So let's actually try this out directly. Let's go to my Gmail. Let's take a PDF that I have prepared, and let's send it to the inbox email address. I don't need to write anything. I can just send it directly. If you are doing this, you can also, organize forwarding. And so, as you're receiving, invoices and receipts from software as a service companies or others, they directly go to the inbox and directly get mapped in the system. And then again, you should review them as they arrive and make sure that there aren't any mistakes or errors. So now we need to wait a couple of minutes. So it'll take about, maybe 15 seconds. Oh, there it is, for the email to arrive. And it immediately was processed, so that's good. Normally it takes a little bit of time as well. And you can see here, it has identified the amount. It has created the entry as an invoice in the system, which you can review. And it has attached the PDF. In the meantime, I'm also expecting that these classifications won't take much longer. So we should see this number going back to 0. And this is basically already what I wanted to show you. You can play with this yourself, and you can explore all of the other features that are there. I don't think there is anything that is particularly complicated where you will need an explanation. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the product. We would love to get feedback from you. So, if there's anything where you're like, hey, as a power user, I would like to see this particular feature built in that particular way, we'd love to hear that. It'll help us accelerate our progress. So, please do let us know. Another thing you should know is that the pricing in Subledger is such that you can start for free. 100 entries every month don't cost any money. If you need more than that and you aren't yet ready to pay for it, just email us. Our contact information is down here. And we usually don't ask any questions. We just, increase your limits. That's it. You can already see the statement lines have been matched. So now the two numbers line up. The system was done. And I didn't need to do any manual work for that. So yeah, let me know how you like the product. And I hope I'll see you around. Thank you.